Good Saturday morning, Mid-Michigan. I'm First Alert meteorologist Matthew Mondro coming to you with a forecast update regarding the snow and the winter storm that we're tracking for the weekend, which a lot of the snow is going to get underway a little bit later this afternoon. And once that snow moves in, it'll be nonstop all the way through the night and into Sunday morning. Now, right now with this live stream, I actually do have an update for you with our snow totals. The First Alert weather team here, we've all just consulted looking at some of the very latest data that's just come in here within about the last 30 minutes. And we have made one final adjustment to our snowfall map. So I'll take you right to it here. Here is our updated snow potential map. With this too, it is important to note that we haven't made any large scale changes per se. We have just tried to whittle down some of these numbers a little bit more. So previously we had that darker blue, that 5 to 7 range for nearly all of mid-Michigan. We have changed that range to 5 to 8 just to cover that potential for some snow totals reaching up towards 8 inches in some spots, especially west in mid-Michigan. That 3 to 6 range was previously 4 to 6. We've put 3 there now just to cover the fact that some of our shoreline areas, especially immediately near the shore within about a mile or a half mile of the shoreline, you could have some lower totals as well. Now, we did add that 6 to 9 inch range for that southwestern corner of our area. So this does go right up near Mount Pleasant. It does include Alma and Ithaca. Perry is also included within this as well. Most of the highest totals from the system will still be on the west side of the state too. However, we think some of that could actually drag right into the southwestern corner of mid-Michigan. So we have made that update there with the snowfall map. But overall, taking a look at some of these numbers, you can see this is a snow that we're all going to have to clean up by tomorrow morning. So as you start off the day, you'll definitely have some shoveling and some snow blowing to do. So with our First Alert Weather Day, we also added today to our First Alert Weather Day, just more so to help you prepare for this incoming snowfall. It will be getting started a little bit later this afternoon and carrying on into the evening. So if you do have any travel plans this evening, you'll already start to encounter some slick roads. Again, definitely enough snow that you will be able to shovel and snow blow by tomorrow morning. Right now, and for the remainder of the morning, though, conditions are still going to be pretty quiet. Just mostly cloudy out there. Between about 1 and 5 o'clock is when we see the snow moving in across our area. It'll be working its way from west to east during that time frame. So 1 o'clock is closer to US 127. Then by the end of the 5 o'clock hour, the snow should be across the thumb. But as we go into the evening and then tonight, that snow will just continue for all of mid-Michigan. Again, it will be a continuous snowfall up until about the mid to late morning tomorrow. And with our road conditions too, if you do have any travel planned for this evening, roads will be starting to get slick. However, a bit of a slow start, especially because the snow does have some dry air that it still needs to work through initially, but then by tonight we do expect travel to be pretty significantly impacted as well as tomorrow morning. Now, it is worth noting that by tomorrow afternoon we do expect road crews to be able to have caught up by then, and more parking lots will be plowed by then as well. So you will definitely have an easier time traveling during the second half of the day tomorrow. But if you have any morning plans, maybe you're even going to church tomorrow morning too, you definitely will need to have, or at least allot some extra time for your drive. So let's take a look at that First Alert hour by hour here. So this is fast forwarding up until about 4 o'clock this afternoon. And I'll actually back the model off here just a couple of hours. So this right here is at about 1 this afternoon. Notice that we already have some flurries coming in near Clare, Mount Pleasant, Alma, kind of that central Michigan region. As early as 1 today, you should be able to see at least some light flurries getting started. And then as we fast forward to about 3 or 4 o'clock, we see those snow showers starting to reach closer to the Bay region, around Flint, and even into our northern counties. And then by the end of that 5 o'clock hour, snow should be across the thumb. That right there is 8 o'clock this evening. Now, it's also important to note that at about 8 o'clock this evening, that is when we start to see our snowfall rates picking up even more. So the remainder of the evening and as we approach midnight, some of these snow totals, snowfall rates are going to be able to reach 1 inch per hour. So coming down pretty good at times as we go into the late evening and early tonight. That right there is midnight tonight. So you can see that snow is falling for all of mid-Michigan and actually really across the entire lower peninsula as well. Even as we wake up tomorrow morning, that's at about 6 in the morning, still snowing for everybody. And then once we go towards the late morning, between 10 o'clock and noon, that's when we see the morning snowfall leaving. And then for the afternoon, we'll have just a couple of sort of lingering snow showers, a little bit more isolated. And any of the snow showers we see during the second half of tomorrow, that's not really going to add much to our snow totals from tonight and from the morning. We will be completely dry as we go into tomorrow night and Monday morning. We just expect a mostly cloudy day on Monday. One thing that's important to note, though, with the snowfall is that we'll be cooling down quite a bit on Sunday night, 15 for the low. And as we go into next week, all of our temperatures stay below freezing. Even during the day, we're in the 20s, and all of our lows are down into the teens as well. So this is not going to be one of those snowfalls that melts away within a day or two. It is going to be sticking around for this upcoming week entirely. Now, for winter sport enthusiasts, definitely good because it does help build up that nice base on the ground. But again, this is definitely a snow that won't be going anywhere anytime soon, given the colder pattern that we still have to follow that up. I'll show you that shoveling forecast here too. One thing I do want to make an important note of is the fact that tomorrow, when you are cleaning up that snow, especially by midday and the afternoon, the wind chills will be about 10 degrees below the actual air temperature. So we are going to see the wind picking up a little bit more tomorrow, some sustained speeds up to about 15 miles per hour and some gusts reaching up to about 20 to 25 miles per hour. So it's just going to make it feel somewhat blustery as we go into the second half of the day tomorrow. But one important note too with the wind, or rather just in regard to the wind for this entire weekend, is the fact that even today we only expect a 5 to 10 mile per hour wind from the southeast. Our wind speeds generally still on the lighter side tonight, and then we see those gusts up to about 20 to 25 for tomorrow. So while tomorrow is a little bit breezy, we are not expecting any sort of wind throughout this entire weekend like we had earlier this week when we had those wind advisories. So we shouldn't be coming anywhere near those kinds of wind speeds, especially for today. As the snow starts to fall, we aren't expecting really much in the way of blowing snow or drifting snow. It should just be coming down pretty steadily as we go into the evening. But of course, that does lead to those accumulations pretty quickly on some roads and some bridges and some overpasses as well. I'll take you back here to our weather graphics one last time because I do just want to show you the snow totals once again. We have updated our snow totals map, so showing you this brand new map here for the 10 o'clock update. We have made our 5 to 7 inch range a 5 to 8 inch range. We have 3 to 6 right on the shoreline of Lake Huron, and then 6 to 9, we did add that range for the southwestern edge of mid-Michigan. So places like Mount Pleasant, Elma, Ithaca, and even towards Perry, that's where we do expect some of our highest snowfall totals. But again, we're just kind of splitting hairs at this point between some of these ranges. These ranges really don't have too much difference between them, but we do think that out of all of our area, if anybody does see the highest totals, that is going to be into the southwestern corner of mid-Michigan. Definitely a good idea today, too, to just take a few minutes, start up the snowblower if you haven't started it up yet for the season, because, again, you definitely will need it for tomorrow. But also any of you who work in snow removal, I'm sure this snowfall is great news because it does mean you have some business on the way coming up for tomorrow. I will show you that 7-day forecast too, just to mention those colder temperatures once again. It is going to stay cold as we go into the upcoming week. And actually another thing that I do want to point out here as well is Monday night into Tuesday morning. Now we are going to take this one system at a time and let the weekend system get out of here, but there is some potential that we do have a light snow that falls Monday night into Tuesday morning. That chance especially looks better for the Bay region, the Thumb, and our southern row of counties, so that does include Flint. So as you wake up on Tuesday morning, you actually may have some slick roads as well because of that snow moving through. Early indications, though, with any sort of totals with that, definitely does not look to be as much as this weekend. We're actually kind of catching more of a glancing blow from that system as it passes by the Great Lakes. But that Monday night to Tuesday system, more than likely about an inch or less. So again, it doesn't look to be significant, but still could be enough to provide some slower and slick travel for that Tuesday morning drive. But taking a look at our temperatures for the upcoming week overall, staying below freezing continually, and especially with those cold overnight lows down into the teens, and possibly on Thursday night, we could even have some lows, especially up north, falling down into the single digits. For any of our ice fishers too, this cold weather at least will help us to start to build up some ice. It's still certainly far too early for any sort of ice fishing, but at least this is just some good news in the forecast with this colder weather, is that it will help us to start building up this ice, especially with the snowfall this weekend too. That's going to help bring some water temps down just a little bit more as well. But for the remainder of the Saturday, we hope that you do have a nice Saturday and nice weekend ahead of you, and safe travels if you do have any travels planned for tonight or tomorrow morning especially as well. By tomorrow afternoon, those drive times should be a little bit better. As we go into today as well with the snow, we do have a radar on the free TV5 First Alert weather app. That QR code is right here on your screen. Free app, there's a live radar on there, and you can actually customize that radar too to show different things like cloud coverage and even temperatures too. We also have an hourly and a daily forecast. In fact, our 7-day forecast we load into that daily forecast too. So what we have on our 7-day is directly mirrored in the app as well. So great app to have, and for a day like today with the snow coming in, especially later today, maybe if you do have any traveling to do, app would definitely be a good thing to have just to check on that radar and see where the snow is as it progresses into our area. Well, we hope you have a great remainder of your Saturday and weekend, and if you like the snow, definitely something exciting here as we go into the weekend, but of course, drive safely as well.